Roadways are a fact of life, and need to take care of them and take care of them properly is a fact of life too. Well, that's exactly what the Terraplane is all about. To take care of those roadways and to bring into your campground the best road system that you've ever had. Good roads make happy campers, and good roads really will take care of themselves, because a good road will have a crown, a good road will have a berm, a good road will have a good hard surface, and that's exactly what the Terraplane is designed to do. This campground at Knightstown, Indiana, just east of Indianapolis, has just purchased a Terraplane. And so what we're doing here, we're finding the low spots. This is easy to see, and so we're going to leave a little bit of material there by raising the Terraplane up. Now, this tractor does not have a hydraulic cylinder, even though the Terraplane is designed to use a hydraulic cylinder. So we're using the hydraulic drawbar to control the cut of the Terraplane. And the bracket in the back has a turnbuckle attached to it. So on this particular axle, we've set the axle so that it cannot go any farther, and it won't dig any deeper than what that tractor is going to be able to pull. Trying to find the high spots and the low spots, you can see in the very center there's absolutely nothing, so we have a low center in this particular roadway. With a low center like that, the water is apt to stand, and then it softens up the rest of the track. We're able to cut the grass away from the side of the track and bring that back into play also. There's gravel out there in that grass. When I first went there, they said, well, we're going to have to get more gravel before we can do much, because we need gravel. But I suppose what he had in mind were the mud holes and the water holes that he was going to deal with. Something like this. There you can see the track on the outside edge there where the people have been driving. That creates havoc with the grass, and it also creates a wider water hole, because eventually they'll be tracking that too. You can't get all the water on the first pass, but you can get the water out of there, and then when it begins to dry out, you can start bringing in aggregate, either from a stockpile or from other parts of the campground, and fill this hole above the level of the surrounding area, and you'll have a dry road. There you see spreading the water so that the sun and the wind can dry it out. And of course the Terraplane will do other jobs too. There's landscaping work to do, and there's finished work to do after the backhoe gets done tearing things up. Have to be a little bit careful and take your time, but it sure beats a shovel and a rake. In a very short period of time, what had been a nasty cut and a lot of fill work to be done was all taken care of by the Terraplane. That looks pretty easy, and it is easy. An operator doesn't have to spend long hours in training, doesn't have to be extra skilled or anything else. The main thing you need to be able to do is to drive straight and not hit anything when you turn the corner. For this reason, there are women that take care of their campgrounds by themselves. And here's another spot where the grasses had started to grow out into the side of the roadway and create problems with tracking down. Here the center is high and the tracks are low, so that when you get a rain, you have water standing the whole length of the roadway. So we're going to redistribute the gravel, make cuts in here with the Terraplane so that we have some loose material, and then we'll re-crown the road and redirect that water into onto the side, so you'll no longer have a roadway problem. Get the idea? Well, this gentleman, his name is Joe, is taking care of his campground road for the very first time. He's in his 70s, but like I said, it doesn't take a lot of skill and it doesn't take a lot of training. All you have to do is be able to drive straight, and when you see a low spot, raise it up so that you're able to redistribute the gravel and get it into the places where it needs to be. reality, there's plenty of things to do on the campground rather than fight with a piece of equipment that isn't adequate to do the job and with roadways that are hard to maintain. The blades on this Terraplane are made so that they are reversible. You can roll them over, and depending on the type of aggregate, and depending on the amount of usage that it gets, these blades can last as long as 12 to 15 years. This is Lake County, Indiana. This 900-acre park takes a lot of maintenance, especially in the springtime when the river comes up and tears this lowland all to pieces. And there you can see a big cut in the ground that the river has cut through. They tried to stop it with bales of straw, but of course nothing is adequate to keep the water down. Almost takes a hydraulic engineer to direct that water. But with the Terraplane, they go back in there and they'll heal all that area and bring it back into a condition where they can walk through there. These are their hiking trails, these are their horse trails, and put this park back into condition without having to try and drive trucks back in there to dump a load of fill and put it in a new trail. Cutting this bank down and making it a little bit more passable is an easy job for the Terraplane. You can even make cuts along the side when you need to broaden the trail. The Terraplane will cut into the side. Here you can see the hydraulic cylinder on the back this time to activate everything. You can raise the wheels and put the full weight of the Terraplane right on the blade. This is a different type of a bracket for the wheels. This campground owner wanted to add weight to the machine, and so we're adding about 700 pounds of weight to this particular Terraplane. And he's going to pull it with a backhoe. We have people inquiring. We don't have anything to pull it with except we've got a backhoe, and of course we can pull it with a backhoe. We even send the bracket along at no cost to you to put on the back of the backhoe so that you can pull it. And using the hydraulic system that's already on the tractor, you can redirect that flow from one of the valves and do the work that needs to be done. This campground is rebuilding and building a new road, and they needed some heavy weight in order to do that. Pretty soon you'll see the material begin to boil up on the back of that box, and you can see it spilling over the back edge, cutting that road. There it comes, starting to come up. Of course, then this topsoil can be pulled to another location and used someplace else on the campground when it's needed. The Terraplane gathers up everything in its path, holds it in the box till you get to the desired location, activate the wheels, and you can lift it right out. Here's a lady that's never done anything like this before in her life, and she's having a good time. The Terraplane does not take a lot of power to grade roads. If you want to do construction work, then it takes some more power in order to do it quickly. But even at that, a tractor with lower horsepower just takes a little bit more time, and that'll do it. You can see she's not even paying attention to what's going on back there. She's just driving, and that's about what it amounts to. If you have low spots then that you need to get rid of the material that's in the box, very easy to do. If you want to feather it out, you just lift it slightly and it'll all feather out. This is the smallest tractor that I've ever seen to do a large amount of work, but it is doing a good job of doing this grading. I suppose it's about 4 feet low right there where this material was dumped. Let's take another look at that if we can. It's getting that box pretty full. And he'll activate, see how the wheels are starting to slip, activate the hydraulic cylinder. Yeah, it's about 4 feet low. Activate that cylinder and spread it out. What we want to do, we want to redirect the drainage here so that we don't have this water standing here in the springtime and slow everything down. Of course, it takes a number of passes, but this campground owner saved thousands of dollars with the Terraplane. This campground is in southeastern Ohio, and they're building a soccer field here. And when I delivered the Terraplane, they said, well, how do we do this? I told them to just let it down against the ground and then start driving. And when they did that, they began to find the high spots and the low spots. Any high spot got chiseled off. Any low spot got the material that it needed. None of the grasses were mowed. No grass was sowed. It was all said and done. There were roots in the ground yet, and they sent up sprouts of grass. We call them the rhizomes, sent up sprouts, and they had a soccer field. This tractor is an old tractor, and it only has around 25 horsepower, but it's doing an excellent job. This campground is in southeastern Pennsylvania at Quarryville. And although there was lots and lots of stone on that campground, it had been spread out with a loader and then drug around the best they could. And what we're doing here is taking off the excess material and spreading it out over the campground. There are two big piles of stone. So if we run out of stone, we know right where to go. And here you see some of the results of the Terraplane. Keep in mind that every time you cover this ground with this Terraplane, you're not gouging in like a motor grader does. You're simply scraping, and the more you scrape a roadway, the harder it gets. By building a crown and lowering the berm, what you're going to do is make a roadway that'll drain. And we had to make a second pass there because he raised it up just a little bit too fast. But he's learning fast, too. Uh-oh, and here we are. We're back with the operator that wanted to change the drainage. And you see he's clear up at the road level. And he's completed the job that he set out to do. Now, don't ask me how many days it took because I don't know. But that's... Well, today I'm at Paradise Lakes at East Rochester in Ohio. And we're looking at the Paradise Lake Campground store. You've had the Terraplane now for about how many years? 4 years?
4 years.
4 years. And in that period of time, you've been able to improve your roads, I hope.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Uh-huh. Have you got any of the roads crowned since you've used the Terraplane?
Oh yes.
All the roads are crowned now?
Most all of them are crowned.
Okay, that sure eliminates potholes when you can crown roads, doesn't it?
Right, right.
What has been your experience now as far as saving gravel is concerned in the entire park versus other years before you had the Terraplane?
Probably 50%.
50% savings of gravel. How about the very first year? Did you find out you had gravel in some places needed, others go it from one place to the other?
Oh yeah, we found that most of your gravel being pushed off the road, so you're able to take the Terraplane and just recrown it and redress it, and it's a one-man operation.
About how many miles of road do you have here in the park?
Well, I'd say we approximately have about 4.5 miles of road, total road in the park.
And how many sites?
500.
500 sites. That brings in a lot of traffic. On a busy day, about how many cars do you have?
Oh, I'd say probably a good 400 to 500 cars a day.
Oof. That's like a small town, isn't it?
Right, right.
And people, how do they appreciate the good roads? They mention anything about it or anything like that?
Oh yeah, they do appreciate it, especially when you send someone out to dress them up a little bit and makes it a little bit nicer. So.
Well, we always say that good roads make happy campers, and I hope you have happy campers for a good many years to come.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.